that joy, and that community as myself and as each person here at the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, whether we're here in this room together or online together or watching and listening to this service sometime in the future, for there really is no time in God. There is no place where God is not. And I just marvel at the perfect unfoldment of today. I know that each person is here by divine appointment. I bless everyone that's had a part in bringing this service to us today. The tech team, the music, the bookstore, everything that has gone into the creation of this space and this time together. And most especially Reverend Kamatara, for I know that her words are exactly what we need, that they touch us very deeply, and that we are enlivened and enlightened through her words and this time together. And so together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Maria. So, hey Cheryl, can we turn the house lights down? And I'm gonna just set a little mood here. I think I'm gonna let you remain seated for this. It's a very mellow song. So, I want you to repeat after me. We're not gonna have lyrics on the screen, so we're gonna use our heads. Oh no! But here are all the words. I want you to just repeat after me, if you can do that. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. Okay, just take that in for a minute. And then we're going to have a part of the song where we just say, all is well, all is well, all is well. So follow me. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. We're just going to do that for a while. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. I am safe. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. Again. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. One more time with that line. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. Now just repeat, all is well. 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 I can rest. I can rest. I am safe. I am safe. All is well. A little louder. All is well. All is well. I can rest. I can rest. I am safe. So very safe. All is well. Again. All is well. I can rest. I am safe. All is well. 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 All is
Just breathe that in. That's where we're going today. So we're going to hold on to that for this whole beautiful service that we hope replenishes your soul. So welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, where we are transforming the world with the power of love in action. My name is Reverend Kamatara. My pronouns are she and her and a whole lot of glitter. And I am your celebration host and your speaker for this morning. And it's just a wonderful time for us to tap into what are the spiritual principles in which this spiritual community is anchored. So you know you're in the right place. You showed up at the right class, right? And it's the right professor. You're in the good, okay. So I actually had a senior sit through an entire freshman class that was too embarrassed to leave. It was amazing. So we're going to make sure you know you're in the right place. We're family here. So if we were to distill down our teaching, faith, philosophy, and way of life here into a few basic concepts, or the greatest hits, this is what we would come to. First off, there really is only one power in the universe. It is known by many, many names. You can pick what works for you or no word at all, because the thing that can be named is not the thing, right? Beyond any words that we could put to it, we just know there is this one power, this one presence, this divine that is expressing as each one of us, as this service, as this moment, as this thing. There's something sacred going on. Okay, we got that. We also know that we can enhance our awareness of the connection, of our connection to the divine through prayer, through meditation, through music, through learning, through this spiritual time together, through our service to each other, through food, through laughter, take your choice. That's how we are connecting to the divine. And we also know that because our thoughts are creative, we are co-creating with the divine, that we encourage ourselves and others to be anchored in spiritual principle. Because we know sometimes that goes skillfully and other times not so much. So we're going to support each other in all our messy goodness and know the truth for each other, even when we can't remember it for ourselves. And from our friends in A Course in Miracles, we also ascribe to the fact that we know that everything in our life is either an expression of love or a call for love. And being able to recognize that in the moment and approach that with discernment is really powerful. And then also, we truly believe that each one of us is whole, perfect, and complete exactly as we are. There is nothing to be saved, rescued, or fixed because you are not broken. You are whole, perfect, and complete. So we take this moment to honor your being here and to recognize the powerful presence that you are as God in action, the gifts that you are to this world. And so we're going to do a community blessing. And in fact, for the folks who are new, and this is your very first time, if you feel very brave, you could kind of raise your hand and we could look at you lovingly. Or if you're not feeling that moment, I get it, it's hard. But if you're not feeling that, just know like this blessing is especially for you if you're brand new today. All right, so we like to stretch our hands and send love and energy, and feel free to look at each other lovingly. Make that awkward eye contact. You can do it. Okay, we see you. We see you. We know who you really are. You are a divine emanation of spirit. You are a divine emanation of spirit. We love you. We appreciate you. Welcome home. And now it's time for a congregational song.
All right, I'm going to do one of my songs. And this is kind of laid back too, but why don't you stand? We'll just kind of get some energy going. We've done this before, so you might have some muscle memory of it. Ancient voices call to me. I can hear them in my dreams, telling me the soul lives on long after my body's gone. The soul lives on and on and on, carries me to higher ground, never lost, always found. The soul lives on and on and on. The soul lives on. Ancient voices call to me. I can hear them in my dreams. I can hear them in my dreams, telling me that peace lives on, love lives on. Where are we? I'm lost. Love lives on and on and on, carries me to higher ground, but now I'm found. Love lives on and on and on. Love lives on and on and on. Love lives on. Kuda sheombe pe wano he. Ancient voices call to me. I can hear them in my dreams. I can hear them in my dreams, telling me that peace lives on long after the wars are gone. We can only hope. Love lives on and on and on, carries me to higher ground, never lost, always found. Peace lives on and on and on. Peace lives on. Kuda sheombe pe wano he. Ancient voices call to me. First verse. I can hear them in my dreams. I can hear them in my dreams, telling me the soul lives on long after my body's gone. The soul lives on and on and on, carries me to higher ground, never lost, always found. The soul lives on and on and on. The soul lives on and on and on. The soul lives on. Kuda sheombe pe wano he.
Thank you, Susan. So I thought about rest, which is our topic today. And a few years ago, I read a book called Sabbath as Resistance, Saying No to the Culture of Now by Walter Brueggemann. And it's a discussion and interpretation of the creation story and of Exodus, the book of Exodus, in the context of the commandment to keep the Sabbath holy. So I thought I'd bring it to you. And then God rested. God rested on the seventh day. God did not show up to do more. God absented God's self from the office. God did not come and check on creation in anxiety to be sure it was all working. God has complete confidence in the fruit-bearing, blessing-generating processes of creation that have been instituted. God exhibits no anxiety about the life-giving capacity of creation. God knows the world will hold, the plants will perform, the birds and fish and the beasts of the field will prosper, and humankind will govern the earth generatively. All will be well, and all manner of things will be well. The world is an anxiety-free one of well-being because the Creator is anxiety-free and publicly exhibits that freedom from anxiety by not checking things out. God is not a workaholic. God is not a pharaoh. God does not keep jacking up production schedules. To the contrary, God rests confident, serene, at peace. God's rest, moreover, bestows on the creature a restfulness that contradicts the drivenness of the system of Pharaoh. Rest as did the Creator God, and while you rest, be sure that your neighbors rest alongside you. Such faithful practice of work stoppage is an act of resistance. It declares in bodily ways that we will not participate in the anxiety system that pervades our social environment. We will not be defined by busyness and by acquisitiveness and by pursuit of more in either our economics or our personal relations or anywhere in our lives, because our life does not exist in commodity. Sabbath is not simply the pause that refreshes. It is the pause that transforms. Whereas we are always tempted to acquisitiveness, Sabbath is an invitation to receptivity, an acknowledgement that what is needed is given and need not be seized. So we'll just take a moment of silence now. Take that in.
I woke up to this. God is a safe house for the battered, a sanctuary during bad times. The moment you arrive, you relax. You're never sorry you're not. Rest, take a breath. Push aside the noise and feel the air inside your chest. Blessed, my child, you're blessed. Fall into the arms of God and rest your weary head. Just rest. Rest. I went to sleep with this. God keeps in perfect peace those whose mind is stayed on him. Rest, take a breath. Push aside the noise and feel the air within your chest. Blessed, my child, you're blessed. Fall into the arms of God and rest your weary head. Just rest. just rest. Fall into the arms of God and rest your weary head. Just rest, just rest. I said to myself, relax and rest. Soul, you have been rescued from death. You've been rescued from tears. Relax and rest. Rest, take a breath. Rest, take another breath. Rest, take a breath. Push aside the noise and feel the air inside your chest. Blessed, my soul, you're blessed. Fall into the arms of God and rest your weary head. Just rest. Thank you.
My goodness, yes, let's breathe into that for a moment. Wow. Well, good morning. Good morning. And I'm so happy to be back and home. And April has been a little bit crazy for me. I was traveling for 2 weeks, one to the Sister Spirit Retreat, which was amazing and important and powerful and good. And then right after that, I was on a business trip. So I was basically gone for 2 weeks straight. And then I get back to the rest of April, and I feel like 4 weeks just got stuffed into 2 when I got back and just overwhelmed and just running at that crazy hyperactive speed, warp speed, as it were. Holy cow. And then I thought, wow, isn't that just par for the course? Like, doesn't that just encapsulate how so many of us are feeling right now with the pace of this world and how things are going? Like, how many of you are just feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, that your tank is on empty? And then I looked at what the topic was for this week. And I know that God has a sense of humor, because CSL, the Centers for Spiritual Living, the mothership, the global organization, they give us these topics. And I'm like, okay. So I open it up, and I'm like, oh, and there it is. Little God wink, high five, like, okay, sister, slow it down. Because the topic for this week is the power of regenerativity. And it's like, regenerativity, that's not even a word, but I like it. It's interesting. And I'm a former English teacher. I make up words all the time. So I'm like, I like regenerativity. It sounds kind of fun, but what the heck does that mean? How do we make it so that's not just an empty platitude or a sparkly word that sounds kind of hip? What does that mean if you regenerate? I think about the awesome little lizards we have here where the tail it just pops off, and you're like, oh my God, is it okay? No, it's okay. The tail grows back. It regenerates. Okay, so regenerating, it means to really go back to your wholeness, all of what you are, to be fully powered up. If you think of a generator, right? It's fully powered up, it's fully authentic. But how do you get there? Because I don't know about you, but I'm so far down the rabbit hole, I can't just flip a switch and get there. I can't just be like, well, I had a massage yesterday and I'm sound as a pound. Like, no, I need way more. Like, I need way more than that. That is not going to cut it at this level of trauma and this level of 50 plus years of cultural training to dismantle that. And so to think about Maria's reading, oh my goodness, I mean, how perfect that Spirit just had her pick that reading of all readings, that the Sabbath is an act of resistance. Wow. So I was really thinking, okay, how do I get to regenerate myself? Because it isn't just flipping the switch, it is a process. And so I was really thinking about 4 different R's. I was thinking about release, reconfigure, replenish, and then I can get to that regeneration, that regenerativity. So let's start with the release. What is it that we're releasing? And there's no surprises here. I'm not going to say anything new, but maybe you need to hear it for the 1,457th time. I sure did. And I'm probably going to need to hear it 1,000 more until I get it. So it's okay if this is the gajillionth time you've heard this. We definitely are releasing the rat race, the relentless pace, that whole gotta hustle for our worth, to use the Brené Brown phrase. And what came to mind, do you remember the Shel Silverstein book? It was very popular when I was little, The Giving Tree. And I used to read it so nostalgically, like it just made, especially when I became a mother. And I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so perfect. There's this tree and the little boy, do you remember the story? And the little boy like eats the apples and plays with the tree, and the tree is happy, and they've got this beautiful relationship. And then the boy gets older and sells the apples, and the tree is thrilled. And then the boy's like, comes back when he's older, and he's like, yeah, I need to build a house. And he takes all the branches, and the tree's happy, and he builds the house. And then he comes back, and he's like, oh, I just want to sail the world. And he takes like almost all of the tree, and he makes a boat, and he goes away and he sails, and he comes back, and he's super old man, and the tree's like a stump at this point. And I was like, I've got nothing left to offer you. And then the old man's like, well, I really just need a place to sit. And then, the boy sits on the stump, and the tree was happy. And that used to like feed my soul, that book. I was like, yes. And then I pulled it back out this time, and I'm like, oh my God, is that the story that we're buying? You give and give and give and give until you're just like this little stump and there's almost nothing left, and that's supposed to make you happy? And did that boy ever once say thank you? Not once. In that entire book. Was it like, oh, you're so precious to me and I appreciate you? Not once did that little boy come make a garden around the tree or like weed it or do, and there was no, it would just take, give. I'm like, oh, the shadow side of this really beautiful children's book. Wow. Because that's where our society is at. We're raised in this capitalistic society with a Puritan work ethic. If you're not giving and miserable, you're doing it wrong. And granted, I'm all about hard work. I am. And I am all about giving. I'm a very generous person. But at a certain point, we know we cannot draw from an empty well. And at this point, we're more at a blood from a stone level, right? It's rugged. So the key here for release is to discern what is mine to do, what is and is not my responsibility. And a book that really blew me away is, and I've mentioned it before, it's called The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And they take 15 commitments, and they talk about how might it outpicture if you were above the line or below the line. Are you of integrity and doing this well, or are you sucking it? Okay, how might it outpicture if you're not skillful? And the very first commitment is responsibility. And we all know what responsibility is. In fact, if you're sitting in this spiritual community right now, you are a responsible person because you're taking charge of your life. So I know I'm talking to the right people here, but the responsibility commitment is I take 100% responsibility for my life. And then the below the line description, it blew my mind. Because I know that people who don't step up and take responsibility for lives, and people who are blaming other people and they're in a victim position and I can't do anything about it. Okay, yeah, that's irresponsible. People who don't step up and take charge of what is theirs to do. Yeah, that's irresponsible. But what's also irresponsible, and this is where it just shredded my heart because I was so called out and so seen, is the people who do more than 100%. of what's going on, that's also irresponsible. Oh, ow. That was really hard for me to own. And I'm still owning that, because that is how a lot of us were trained. I absolutely was trained to overperform, outdo, overtake. And you've heard me say it before, I can out-God God. I'd be like, no, God, hold my beer. I got this. I'm doing it. And to stop it, to stop doing that, is that act of resistance. It's not sustainable. Lord knows I've tried. I can see the nodding heads. You have tried it too. It does not work. If it did work, we'd have it by now, right? It does not work. And y'all have been with me, a lot of you, 10, 15 years now, and you certainly know my example. My first career was teaching, and I was teaching high school English, working 60 hours a week, and I've got the 2 kiddos, and I was like a married single mom. It was amazing. And, trying to, you know what I mean, and taking my kids to Girl Scouts and flamenco and Aikido. And then God was like, you need to go to ministerial school on top of that. And I'm like, what? Are you out of your mind, God? Okay, so here I am. And then when I shifted jobs, the very first thing that my administrative goddess said, yes, I have an amazing secretary. She was like, you don't even know how to work 40 hours a week. So she got me on a spreadsheet to kind of like pare it back, like, oh, sister, take it down, because we want high quality 40 hours. Whoa, it took me 3 years to get down to only working 40 hours a week. And then it took me 3 more years to realize that what I'm trying to pack into that 40 hours is still crazy. And then, I love how it's almost like a virus that mutates. And then to realize, okay, well, now I'm down to a more reasonable 40 hours a week. But what I'm packing around it, like, oh, I'm playing piano for a children's choir. We have a concert today. It's going to be fun. And then I'm going right from this to that, and I've got this music, and then I'm speaking at church, and then I'm going to Las Cruces, and then I'm like, oh, and there it is again. I'm doing it again. Oh, my God. It's the exact, but a different form. So I really want to invite you to think about in your own life, why? Are you still overdoing it? And why? What is underneath that? What's the bigger question there? What do I stand to gain by living this way? What story am I telling? What am I unconsciously committed to? Is there some tacit agreement, an old way of being, a false and limiting belief? This is a big one for me. What am I not facing? What am I not being honest about? And that's really hard for me to admit. I was not raised to be honest. Literally not. And some of you know, if you grew up in a home with addiction, you've got what happens in the home, and you have what happens out there. And we're not honest about what's going on. So getting honest about it is a big deal. What are the unmet needs that lie beneath these repeated actions? Well, I'm working on that now, which I know you know, because we've been on this journey together. I love you. That is the bounty of spiritual community. And I am stopping that. I'm stopping that hustle for my worth. I'm learning to stop numbing myself with that jam-packed schedule. I'm learning to slow down and consider what my needs actually are right now at this point in my life, and not make my needs wrong. Guilt-free, thank you. Yes, guilt and shame-free. Your needs are not wrong. So I hope, this is the release part, I hope you will consider any arena in your life where you might be overdoing it. And what does your brand of overdoing it look like? because we all have our little flair and how we do it. What does your overdoing it look like? What's in the way of your health and well-being? What can be released? Okay. So after your deep dive has brought you clarity about what to release, then it's time to consider how to reconfigure. I was reading the Renegade Pastor's Guide to Time, which is a very small book. Thank you, because I had to read it fast. But he had these 3 Ds that were just amazing. These 3 Ds that I want you to hear as you're reconfiguring your life. He said, dump it, delegate it, do it differently. Dump it, delegate it, do it differently. Yeah, that is powerful, good stuff. So I double dog dare you to do it. Think about what is truly yours to do. What is sustainable? What do you honestly need to be your full, authentic, powered up self, to be shining your light? What do you actually need? And I learned this from Reverend Amani and Reverend Martha. They both told me, do not be surprised at how much you might need. To give you an example, I have 4 supporting ministers, 2 practitioners, my mom, my counselor, a spiritual partner, the annual women's retreat, my daily journal, morning chants and prayers with a partner, a noontime affirmation, nighttime reading, spiritual works. I go to the gym 3 times a week and I play piano for a children's choir. And I practice piano for me. I crochet blankets. And I love putting jigsaw puzzles together and taking sunny walks and riding my bike and going to farmers markets. I'm just saying. All of that is what I need. And I reconfigured my schedule for optimal sleep, exercise, healthy eating, other practices. I made it operational, to use a business term, so I will not miss a beat. It is just how I do life. Because we aren't about a seesaw diet. We're about a lifestyle change. All right. So don't be surprised at how much you might need to be okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever it is that you need, however much time you need, and whatever it takes for you to be healthy. In fact, I was reading an article from the Atlantic Monthly, and while it really resonated with me, it kind of crushed my soul a little bit too. It was called The Quiet Cruelty of When Harry Met Sally. Do you remember that movie? Billy Crystal and what's her name? Meg Ryan, thank you. I can picture them. And there's a moment where Harry said, there are 2 kinds of women. Do you remember this? High maintenance and low maintenance. And you're the worst kind. You're high maintenance, da-da-da-da-da. And it made that phrase really stick about being high maintenance. And so here's the quote from the article. The classic rom-com invented the high-maintenance woman, and 30-plus years later, its reductive diagnosis lives on. It serves as an indictment of women who want. It neatly captures the absurdity of a culture that in one breath demands women do everything they can to maintain themselves, and in the next breath mocks them for making the effort. And I think that's very true, even for men who are now starting to take care of themselves. And thank you, God. Please do that. Okay. Because we need more well-being human beings, more human beings who are well. So really, I challenge you as the reconfigure part of this talk to look at your schedule. Really sit with it. If you don't have a written out schedule, literally write it out. Make a template. Look at it. Take some crayons or colored pencils. What gives you joy? What drags you down? Color it in different colors. And really look at the proportionate balance of what you got. I literally used to have students do that on a paper plate. Like, what's on your plate? And they would make a little pie chart and color how does it make you feel? And then flip it over. How do you want your schedule to go? How do you want it to make you feel? Really check it out. What supports your health and well-being? What doesn't? What could be added? What could be enhanced? Could you add one practice that might feed your soul? Or is there something you know you should be doing and you just aren't, right? What's the first thing that goes when your schedule gets tight? Self-care. It's the absolute first thing that always goes because you think that you are dispensable, that you are disposable. You are not disposable. All right. So you may want to think, where do you have spaciousness in your schedule? This is ironic, but just roll with me. Could you block off some unplanned time? Plan your unplanned time. Just block it off. No one can schedule anything during that time. Here is open time. And I love what it says in Romans 12:2. Says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will. So I challenge you to release whatever does not serve your best and highest good and to reconfigure so as to start living it. Because at that point, when you reconfigure your schedule, now you can actually replenish your soul. We have to heal and replenish. The well has got to be filled, and it takes time, which I'm really learning in light of my recent events of my life. It takes time, and it takes routine with these healthy new practices to feel the benefits and to replenish your body, your mind, and your soul. Whatever was missing or depleted, it literally has to be replaced. When my marriage of 29 years came to an end in August, I literally had nothing left. I could hardly talk. I could hardly breathe. I was in the hospital for a week, the very next week, getting my gallbladder out. I gave so much to my family, far more than was mine to give, and I accept responsibility for that, but I gave so much so, more than nothing. I had more than nothing left. I was actually at a deficit, which I know a lot of you can relate to. So I've spent the last 10 months in emotional and physical detox, just trying to rebalance myself, my expectations, how I function, what I expect, how life works. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. And that replenishment stage cannot be skipped. In fact, a few years ago at Sister Spirit Retreat, 4 years ago, that actually kind of launched kind of this leg of the journey, an image came to mind that I was like a deflated unicorn floaty that was stepped on and crushed and just kicked to the corner of a dirty pool. Honest to God, that's how I felt. But I knew I wanted to be fully inflated, not overinflated, but I wanted to be a fully inflated rainbow sparkle unicorn floaty. And then my best friend Yvette, I can't believe I forgot it at home. My best friend Yvette was at Michael's and she found a Christmas ornament, and I'm not making up. I'll bring it next week. You have to come back next week so you can see it. She found a Christmas ornament, and I'm not making it up. It is a rainbow sparkle glitter unicorn floaty, a Christmas ornament. I'm like, oh my God, it's my spirit animal. And it's like me fully. So I'm getting there. And it takes as long as it takes to heal from the cruel savageries of this world. So please bless that process and make the space to dwell with the innermost beloved within you and find that healing balm and don't skip it. In fact, Marilyn Kirk posted a beautiful meme with Nancy on our Facebook page, so you should check it out, and it says, get your daily dose. And it says dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. It spells dose, but it gave these beautiful ways that you might get these things. Healthy ways, not the old wacky taffy ways that I was getting them. So it says, for dopamine, you could create something, you could achieve a goal, you could complete a task, you could reward yourself for self-care activities, or for oxytocin, you could socialize, you could hug a family member, or you could pet your pet, or you could help someone else, or for serotonin, you could get out in the sunlight, which we have plenty of, so no excuses. And You could try being mindful or be with nature, or you could come at 10 o'clock and enjoy our meditation. Or for endorphins, it says you could exercise, you could listen to music, you could watch an inspirational movie, you could have a laugh with friends. All of that and more can help you to replenish your soul. And now, finally, after all of this, we've had the release, the reconfigure, the replenish. Guess what? Now we can flick the switch and say, woo, I feel regenerated. Look at the power of regenerativity. And it's not just, some empty woo-woo thing. Because, man, we do our work in the spiritual community, don't we? Woo, you can't even walk through the door unless you're a warrior at least. So we're going to do our work here. And I want you to think about when you are regenerated, just imagine what you would look like or feel like or be fully regenerated, all sparkly, fully inflated, rainbow unicorn. Okay, that you would be dynamic and powerful and flowing and giving your A game to yourself first, and then to others, that you could be your most productive, creative, discerning, compassionate, amazing, helpful self. Now think back to the start of this talk or the start of the service. How are you feeling when we started this? That deflated unicorn kick to the corn. Okay, pump, patched, pumped up, feeling better, right? Oh my gosh, you're already feeling better just this moment. Just that you came on a Sunday morning to replenish your soul. High five. Woo. Good job. This is it. This is it. So even just exploring this process has lifted our hearts. So I really challenge you. You can take it a step at a time, but take it further. This isn't where it stops. It's not just, Sunday morning and I'm done. No. When you get home, what else do you need to do? What do you need to drop on your schedule? Who do you need to call? What do you need to do? So that way you can release, reconfigure, replenish, and then experience the power of regenerativity in your life. So I'm going to end with 2 quotes, one from our friend Deepak Chopra, and then one from Maya Angelou. So Deepak says, joy is a return to the deep harmony of the body, mind, and spirit that was yours at birth and that can be yours again. That openness to love, that capacity for wholeness within the world around you is still all within you. And for Maya Angelou, you don't need another person, place, or thing to make you whole. God already did that. Your job is to know it and to live it. Amen. All right, I'm going to ask the practitioners and ministers to stand to surround the room. We're going to go into our prayer time and just know that this is a beautiful symbol of how the arms of the divine are around you right now and always. And just like the song said, we're just going to rest in the arms of the divine. And breathing into this moment, turn inward. And find that place where you know that you are and I am an expression of that one living source of the all that is, this thing that I choose to call God, that I am and you are aligned with the divine that is the presence and power within. This is the something sacred going on in every person's life. And so I know we have access to the infinite warehouse of possibilities, to all the qualities of the divine, and to the way that God is, that love is, that God is this peaceful creator, this generous creator. There's no anxiety or hustle or rushing in God. There's the peaceful flow, the conscious evolution, the growth, the healing that happens in nature, the healing that happens in our bodies when we take care of them. Our bodies know what to do. Nature knows what to do. God knows what to do. And so I surrender in this moment, and I trust the divine, that the universe meets me every step of the way. I don't have to plant the seed and then dig it up to see if it's growing. I let it go and I let it be, and I trust and I know that the arms of the divine are fully supporting me every step of the way, and that what is mine to do will come to me naturally, and what isn't mine to do falls away in this moment. And anything that feels like stress, worry, anxiety, overwhelm, exhaustion, overdoing it, overachieving, people-pleasing, perfectionism, and right on down the list, all of that disintegrates in the light and love and truth of the divine. I know my truth is the divine expressing in this moment as me, that I am here to be the hands of the divine, the heart of the divine, the mind of the divine, the words of the divine, the love, the peace, the healing balm for myself and for others. And so I know that for each one of us, whatever needs to be released gets released. Whatever could be reconfigured in our lives, it is. And whatever we need to replenish our souls is 100% amazing and divinely guided, supported, and blessed. Guilt-free, shame-free, 100% God in action. And I give thanks for this time, this healing, replenishing time, that we could share our faith together, that we could share the sacred time and just be blessed by the music, the reading, the message, the fellowship, the food, this space to tap back into the truth and go, oh, that's right. I knew that, but I forgot. And that's okay. I am so grateful for all the ways that I get to practice rest in the coming week. And I'm incredibly grateful for the bounty that comes out of experiencing that rest. I know that I am a greater blessing for everyone who crosses my path because I have rested and taken care of myself. This little mobile God unit that I am needs some maintenance. And it's good. It's so good. And so blessed. So I know that the arms of the divine are around each one of us, and I give thanks for that support, and I let God do the heavy lifting. And so knowing that all is well, I am safe and I can rest. I let it go and let it be, and so it is. Amen. Whew. Well, thank you so much. It is now time. Let me pull up the rest of our Sunday morning service here. Yes. All right, it's time for our offering. And we, for those of us, we're going to share our abundance. I know we're excited. We're like, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so it's time for us to share our abundance. If you're joining us online, there are all different ways that you can give. And actually, if you're even in-house, there are different ways that you can give. There's, the fabulous QR code. There's a text to give. There are the beautiful baskets that are up here. And so in addition to your time and talent that many of you are already giving to our beautiful community by volunteering and giving from your heart, we really appreciate the financial contributions so we can continue to have amazing music or speakers or all the amazing classes and things that we do here that goes out into the world in Albuquerque to do wonderful things. So just know that your gift is incredibly appreciated and goes out into the world doing wonderful things. So let's just take a moment to say our giving affirmation. Oh, we are on it today, on fire. So let's just say this together. And I know we say it every week. So could you take a moment to actually just say this very mindfully? Like it's the first time you're ever saying it. And say it with a powerful heart. Okay, here we go. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. Thank you.
I am so
Blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
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 I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
blessed. Oh. Whew, I love it. We're like clapping for the blessing song. We're like, yes, I am so blessed. Clap, clap, clap. Thank you, God. Oh, I love it. Thank you for modeling. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to take a moment to bless this. And also blessing yourself. Think about all the abundance in your lives. That it could be monetary, it could be the food you have in your fridge, it could be the running water that we have when we turn on the tap and flush the toilet. Thank you, God. And for our housing, our cars, our clothes, our friends, like, oh, the spiritual community, there's so much abundance around us if we have the eyes and the heart to see it. So taking a moment to just savor this abundance and knowing that the universe and that beautiful dog, thank you, Chico. All right, we're all so lovingly supported in the divine. And I know that we are abundantly blessed, that all our needs are met beyond what we could even ask for. And so knowing that the spiritual community also is blessed beyond what we could even ask for, I know that these offerings are blessed. Thank you, God. Thank you, you, as God. And so it is. All right. What are we doing now? Okay, we bless the offerings. We're on the reminders. Oh, we're like really close to the end. We're going to have reminders, closing song, affirmation. Yes. Okay.
Oh, wow. What a great service today. Thank you so much, Reverend Kamatara, for your talk. It really reminded me of this little yellow sticky note that I made that I used to move. I have a wall calendar at my home office, and I used to put it on each month as the month changed. And in going through this like tumbleweed flurry of clearing up all kinds of stuff recently, I tossed it. And I'm reminded of it today, and I will make a new one that will be beautiful and not just a yellow sticky, but I don't know, maybe it's going to be a painting or just a drawing or something, but it's going to say, ceaseless activity is not God's plan for your life. And I was so reminded of that with your talk. So thank you so much. And for me, that it's just having that trust and faith that I don't need to make everything happen. You know, I don't need to demonstrate or, you know, kind of like that. I need to just allow everything to flow through. So thank you. Please join us, practitioners, for prayer in the prayer garden. We also have a prayer box in the back if you'd like to leave a little prayer request there. Gilbert has some wonderful things, and hi all to the volunteers there, all sitting over there in the bookstore. So please go see Gilbert and friends. And also there's food and coffee and stuff in the social hall. So start your Sunday off in community. Thank you. Oh yeah. And then we have the closing song and an affirmation. Thank you, Susan.
If you please stand. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
All right. Your affirmation for today is, I rest in the arms of the divine. I rest in the arms of the divine. Have a great week, everyone. Join us in the social hall. Thank you.